Hello and welcome to the Safety Leadership Conference. This presentation is entitled Safety Technology, Using an Innovation to Solve Challenges and Drive Improvement. And today's presenter is Heather Mcdougall. She is the Vice President of Worldwide Workplace Health and Safety for Amazon. Her full bio can be found by clicking on the speaker profile below. Immediately following Heather's presentation, please join us as I conduct an exclusive Q&A chat with her, where we'll examine even more closely what safety looks like at Amazon, particularly now during this pandemic, and how employees are trained and encouraged to help foster a culture of safety at Amazon. So with no further ado, let me now turn it over to Heather Mcdougall. Heather?
Thank you, Dave. Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you today. As Dave said, my name is Heather Mcdougall, and I lead Amazon's worldwide workplace health and safety team. In my first year at Amazon, I have learned that there's the speed of business, there's Amazon speed, and now there's Amazon in a pandemic speed. Pandemic speed means you have to think fast and move quicker because the health and safety of our employees and communities depends on it. At Amazon, we believe in our leadership principles, two of which include a bias for action and insist on the highest standards. At no time have those leadership principles been more true or tested than during this pandemic. Before we get too far, let me tell you some things about Amazon. Amazon is rapidly growing with more than 185 fulfillment centers and around 800,000 employees. So in everything we do, we look to scale. Since 1994, we've single-mindedly pursued our vision, being Earth's most customer-centric company. We've invented, reinvented, and reimagined. We've delivered an experience no one thought possible and made history. It's an experience conceived, built, and delivered by incredible people. People obsessed with our customers and proud of the work that we do. We are equally obsessed with the safety of our employees. During our time together today, I want to highlight some of the innovative technology we are pursuing that is critical in our relentless pursuit to make Amazon be one of the Earth's most centric safety companies. But first, let me highlight some of our existing programs that don't get attention, or you may not have heard of them. Today, associates and yard hustlers use fire tablets to share pictures and verify that a trailer is properly docked with a fulfillment center, what we call an FC. Associates stay inside the FC to visually verify that a trailer is properly docked. This means that they don't need to go into the yard to do their job, where they might be exposed to unexpected trailer movements. One of the keys to our success is the ability to use robots in our fulfillment centers to move products around quickly. Amazon Robotics now handles more than 80% of units shipped, and there are thousands of robotic drives in each facility that allows this to happen. Sometimes these drives break, or they may need maintenance, and our technicians are called upon to maintain and reset the drives throughout the day. And they do this while the robotics floor is active. The very few people who are authorized to complete this work are fitted with special vests. And the vests emit a short-range radio signal that is detectable by those drives. So if a technician is on the floor, they are visible to the drives. And if they approach the drive, it will slow down as it approaches or stop as it gets closer. This technology helps us make sure that our technicians will never come into contact with an active drive, no matter where they are on the robotics floor. Let's take a look at some of the new innovation that we are looking into. At Amazon, we already have procedures to keep associates and forklifts separated as much as possible from one another in our buildings. But in our opinion, forklift safety hasn't really changed much in the past 20 years. Today, our goal is to eliminate every forklift accident. But when we looked around to see who was working on technology that could avoid collisions, we didn't find anything off the shelf that fit our needs. So we became innovators in creating technology that met our safety standards. So we're now working with outside vendors to develop equipment that meets our specs. One promising technology that we're developing with these partners is a system that integrates real-time location systems with light detection and ranging technology. When mounted on forklifts and connected with our networked buildings, this system will let us know where forklifts are in real time and can help them detect and avoid obstacles. We also use telemetry to make forklifts safer for operators. Telemetry lets us control speeds in congested areas. It has geolocation devices and accelerometers, and also a login is required before an operator can operate a forklift, which means that only authorized and certified associates can operate these heavy machinery. And if a driver's certification has expired, they won't be able to operate the forklift. Another technology we're excited about is the Canvas autonomous cart. Canvas uses technology that enables a vehicle to operate, act, and adapt intelligently in a dynamic environment with people and other vehicles. Given a destination, Canvas determines an optimal route in real time using 6D technology, which includes 3D positioning and 3D spatial capabilities to know where it is in an FC. The Canvas maps out workspaces and figures out in real time what to avoid. So through this collision avoidance technology, we anticipate that Canvas will improve safety by reducing manual labor handling. And our innovation doesn't stop there. Amazon is also working on computer vision for organization and housekeeping. We are piloting technology that proactively alerts our operations when we have a product or equipment that is out of its expected location. We're also in the process of rolling out safety gloves. These are high-tech gloves, no cut, for associates who operate potentially dangerous machinery. There's a chip that's embedded in the gloves, which communicates with a chip embedded in the machine. And if an associate isn't wearing the glove, the machine won't start up. We're excited about this technology's potential, and we're working currently to scale it across our network. But our technology alone can't eliminate health and safety issues. Adopting and displaying a safety mindset is equally critical, which is why we routinely engage our workforce on safety improvements. Associates who are on the ground every day are an invaluable resource for us in improving our safety program. One key input is getting this unvarnished feedback directly from associates on the front line and managerial leaders at sites around our network and around the world. We measure our safety performance on an ongoing basis and use engagement data to drive continuous improvement. And this feedback has been crucial to making workplace safer. One way we do this is through a tool we invented called the Safety Leadership Index, or SLI. And this measures and integrates associate and leader perceptions of safety. The SLI is a metric that helps us take the pulse of people who know best our safety efforts. So the SLI is a series of safety-related questions that pop up on our associate scanners and computers when they log in for work. We ask 6 questions throughout the month, and we also ask managers a similar but slightly nuanced set of questions every month, which lets us compare how associates feel about safety versus how managers feel about it. With the feedback that we collect from SLI, we have been able to improve our safety practices and enhance our work environments in matters that are both large and small. One of the questions that we ask is, do you have everything you need to perform your job safely? And associates respond to this question and each of them on a scale from always to never. When we detect an issue, we flag it for managers who have a very short turnaround time to respond and correct any serious issues. A big part of our overall safety program is training. And here again, technology plays a key role. We're piloting a program using augmented reality that we call 360 Hazard Hunt. This uses immersive gaming technology to train associates to avoid potential workplace hazards. So far, where it's been tested, injury rates have gone down and associate satisfaction rates have gone up. The way it works is associates are trained on Kindles using scenes and experiences taken from our FCs. We're targeting acute injuries and promoting situational awareness. So for instance, we'll show associates how to watch out for objects that may fall out of a rack, or how a wall of stacked items could pose problems, or how important it is to be mindful around different machinery. Our training also includes a number of improved health and wellness programs. We know, for instance, that the most common injuries are musculoskeletal related. As a result, we've developed a program we call Working Well that uses academic research and certified athletic trainers to educate associates and leaders about their body's health and wellness. Working Well is a training and conditioning initiative designed for both new hires and tenured associates. It includes a new hire ramp-up and schedule to prevent overtraining and risk of musculoskeletal disorders. It also offers a 2-week classroom course that focuses on proper body mechanics, health, and wellness. And then training continues ongoing throughout the year. The results that we've seen so far have been promising, and injury rates have been improving. This year, we're scaling Working Well across a variety of sites and geographies. We've also developed a product called Mind and Body Moments. These are short, informal, guided physical and mental wellness exercises that an associate does during a shift to reduce muscle fatigue and stress and to avoid injuries. Research shows that pauses and exercises that occur earlier in a work shift lead to gains in associates' energy, concentration, and motivation. And it's also associated with reduced mental exhaustion and increased job satisfaction. One last initiative I want to highlight are our wellness centers, which are being piloted this year. These are separate physical spaces inside FCs that associates can visit and which emphasize healthy habits, self-care, and early intervention to avoid injury. They're staffed by on-site medical representatives and certified athletic trainers. Associates are free to visit these whenever they need, whether to report an injury, seek help for discomfort, or access support to incorporate health and wellness techniques into their daily lives. So far, associates have responded positively and have shown increased trust in our services, which enables earlier, more effective injury intervention. So that's a brief tour of our health and safety efforts at Amazon. Our workforce is the heart and soul of Amazon and our ability to deliver on behalf of our customers. I feel really fortunate to be part of a company that has no fear in investing and innovating solutions designed to benefit our people, but also which can be shared widely with others. So we are looking forward to bringing what we know to others and learning from others as well, and together making our workplaces stronger for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. That was a fabulous presentation and a great introduction to all the different technologies and processes Amazon is doing to address safety. What we're going to do now, we used to call these fireside chats. Maybe we'll call this a COVID side chat for want of a better term. Just to drill down a little bit deeper into your role specifically at Amazon and some of the other ways that Amazon uses to address safety. So I guess let's just start basic, set the table a little bit. What's your primary role there, and what's the role of your safety organization at Amazon? How big is it, and what all do you get involved with?
Yeah, so the workplace health and safety team is embedded in worldwide operations, and on this team I lead 5,000 health and safety professionals, and we really seek to use innovation, technology, and data insights to pursue the highest standard of safety. So it's been incredibly gratifying this year to see not only that health and safety is top priority within our team and operations, but across all of Amazon during this pandemic. I've seen teams across all of the company come forward and really help identify how we can use technology, whether it's engineering teams or Amazon Air or robotics, to really help come up with solutions to keep our people safe.
So what would you say were some of the biggest surprises? So when you joined Amazon, what were you expecting to see, and what kind of surprised you maybe?
Yeah, I think one of the things that surprises me is how embedded these leadership principles are in everything that Amazon does. You probably have heard of them before, but they really are principles that guide decisions on a daily basis. And it also can drive just how teams operate. Another thing that's been surprising to me is the fluidity of how people move in and out of various roles and various teams, just based on the need for people who demonstrate the right kind of leadership or Amazon principles when it comes to a particular need. So you'll see people who move from workplace health and safety to different program management teams. Data scientists will move to operations. There's just constant fluidity, and it's really encouraged in terms of that type of different experience and different ownership of different needs at various times throughout the organization.
So I'm sure this is quite familiar to you, as it's very familiar to EHS Today's readers. They're all about safety metrics. How do you measure? They want to have the kind of data that can help support their safety projects and initiatives. So how does Amazon use safety metrics? What do you measure, and how do you use that to drive change?
Well, we use a lot of metrics. We are a data-driven company, and one of the other things that has surprised me in my time at Amazon is how nimble and quick a company of Amazon's size is. So we really look at a variety of metrics, both lagging and leading, to constantly assess the performance. So you have that look in the rear view mirror, want to know how we are doing, and also look forward and look for early signs in terms of pivots that need to be made to prevent injuries from occurring. So one of them I already mentioned, our Safety Leadership Index is one of our own very own metrics that we look at each day, and we use that to assess performance of different sites and different leaders. Another one that's kind of evolved off of that is something we call the Digital Safety Circle. So again, we bring associates together in a circle with a handheld scanner, and we ask similar questions to the SLI questions. And that can give us immediate real-time feedback on associate perception. And then from there, we'll move out of our circle and do a safety hunt to identify hazards, identify conditions that could be improved, and use that engagement, that view of associates to really identify areas where we can drive change.
Let's talk a little bit about what everyone talks about now is COVID-19. So obviously Amazon's presence in everywhere has grown in terms of, you can't go down a street, it seems like, without seeing an Amazon truck anymore. But what processes and protocols and even the use of PPE, what has Amazon done for its own workplace and for its drivers or what have you to just in response to COVID?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a topic that I could spend the entire presentation on. As with many other companies, we have been very focused on our response to this pandemic. And it's been gratifying, again, for me to see just how focused not only my team is, but Amazon leadership is in doing the right thing and making sure that regardless of cost, we are keeping our people protected. So we've allocated more than $800 million in the first half of this year to keep our teams safe with masks, with hand sanitizer, with thermal cameras, with things like innovations such as our distance assistance, cleaning supplies, disinfectant spray, additional gloves. The list goes on and on. We've also we've mentioned that we are moving into COVID testing of our own asymptomatic associates. We've doubled down on janitorial teams, so cleaning is occurring across the site about every 90 minutes. We've put taped guidance on floors. We've stopped in-person meetings. We've reconfigured break rooms. We've adjusted start and stop times of shifts. We've changed how we do onboarding and training. So, all of these things are things that we've put in place since the beginning of the pandemic. Or at least, I think we can look back to March, and there was a time, it's hard for us to remember now, where it was really challenging to get masks and to get sanitizers. But we quickly moved into procuring those things and distributing them across our network. So, I think, again, we're constantly evolving and looking at how we use technology. And one of the things that I mentioned is this tool called the distance assistant. It is a monitor that uses a camera and a laptop, and we place it in areas where there tends to be more potential for congestion. So, example, coming out of a break room. So we put these monitors there, and associates can see in real time whether they are maintaining 6 feet social distance. So as they walk by, they can look at the monitor, and if they are keeping that 6 feet, a green circle will show up around them. As they get closer to somebody else, the circle turns orange, and as they are within 6 feet of somebody, it turns red. So it's a real visual cue in terms of what 6 feet looks like and the importance of social distancing. And this is something that we're really excited to share with others. So you can download the software and the AI, but you can create your own distance assistant with a computer and a laptop and a camera.
Well, that's fascinating. I hadn't heard of that. That's an interesting tool. But you also mentioned training itself has changed a little bit. So could you just briefly go over what kind of training are new hires put through in terms of safety at Amazon before they're ready to start work?
Yeah, so I think with COVID-19, we've all been challenged to think about new ways to do things. And so we've had to do that when it comes to training. So our new hires now start their onboarding with a virtual new hire orientation, which includes a segment called Working at Amazon During COVID-19. So that goes through the details of all of the measures that we've put in place to keep our people safe during this pandemic. But then after this virtual training, training continues multiple times a week. to remind associates about the measures that we've put in place. And we continue that training through a variety of mediums. We have a new app that's called the A to Z app, and we include a lot of content there. We also use text messages and newsletters and video screens in our buildings. We have something called installment, which are posters on the back of the bathroom stalls. We use, again, TV screens, alerts when you log into a workstation. We have e-learning modules, again, through our Kindles. Break rooms are another area where we post information. So there's just a lot of new areas where we will use those opportunities to continue to train associates about their job duties and COVID safety measures. I think we've really all had to adapt and to think about how we continue to do our jobs in this new sort of normal, and constantly remind us of the importance of these measures that we've put in place.
Okay, so once an employee becomes, has been onboarded and becomes a full-time employee there, how do you encourage them to remain active and to participate in the whole safety process?
Yeah, so I think I've mentioned a couple of them already. Our SLI and our digital safety circles, those are two really great ways that associates can engage with us and let us know how they feel about safety at Amazon. But we're constantly asking for feedback. So one of the ways that associates can do that on a daily basis is at each of our sites, we have something called Voice of the Associate Board, and it takes on different forms. In most of our FCs where we have the most associates, it will be either a whiteboard or a virtual board, but it's a big board that's along what we call our green mile, and associates can log complaints, they can provide feedback, they can provide ideas, questions, and managers at those sites are tasked with closing out each one of those entries from an associate. So making sure that the associate's question or concern is addressed, and they may, if the associate chooses to provide their name, they will engage directly with that associate, or if it's anonymous, then they'll put the response up on the board, and that will serve as the way to close out. But just to make sure that associates have that way to directly let sites know about their concerns or ideas for improvement. We've had, through these different forms of engagement, we've had hundreds of ideas that have been taken and then implemented into our network. So it could be ideas about how to target picking and stowing of products within their zone, just based on their past experience at that particular workstation. It could be the types of mats that they have at their station where they work. But we're constantly looking for feedback and ideas and frequently implementing those ideas into our network.
Okay, I think we've touched on most of the conversation topics that we kind of thinking of in terms of safety, but maybe any key elements that we haven't really drilled into yet. How would you overall characterize, or how would somebody coming into Amazon kind of characterize your occupational safety and health program?
Well, one of the things that I would say is that our vision is to be bold. I can't imagine really a better place to be if you're a health and safety professional. I've just been so impressed in my time at Amazon about what commitment there is, and to back up that commitment with investment and technology. So, I really think that we're raising the bar through innovation, continuous learning, and improvement. So, we have our own set of tenets, and it's kind of tied around those themes. But at the heart of it, it is just the priority of safety, that it's across all of operations, and that we have to prioritize it in everything that we do. So it really has to be a mindset. And Amazon also is really known about working backwards. And so that's what we do with safety as well. We think backwards in terms of where we want to be and how we're going to get there, and to provide our people with the tools and knowledge that they need to do their job safely.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather, so much for not only for your presentation, but for kind of giving us an insider's look at what really happens in an Amazon facility, and how you just go that extra mile to keep people, both employees and the rest of us, safe. So much appreciated. Thanks so much, and take care.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.